Bum,
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 ba-da-da,
ba-da-da,
bum,
bum,
bum.
bum.
Bring. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday to y'all. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Review. If you've watched the show, you know who we are by now. But just in case you are uninitiated, I am Marcus Grant. That is Greg Bergman. I got it right. I did the point right.
You did the point right. I can't do it. Is it that way? No,
I
it's
just,
that way.
the way it works for me is like I look at what I think it would be, and I just do the opposite. Like
That's
what in my head I think it should be, and I go the other way, and that usually
see,
works for
I can't figure it out, Parker. I apologize for making fun of you so much. I
me.
gotta go that way.
So, yeah, welcome to another edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. As we dive into this, of course, want to shout out the folks at Los Angeles International Airport. They are changing the travel experience, making life easier for travelers. You can get more information at flylax.com/transforminglax. No baseball last night, Greg, and for LA fans, a white knuckler of a sports night. I mean, the Kings blew a big lead only to hang on and win. The Clippers were in a tooth and nail battle with the Nuggets, and they pulled it out. So even though there are no Dodgers, there are no Lakers, still a good LA sports night overall.
It was. I was focused on the Kings. I watched every second of that Kings game, and it was crazy exciting. I really wish they didn't have to make it so exciting towards the end, but they still won, so that was huge. When it comes to the Clippers, man, I'm just telling you, if Kawhi, it's kind of weird that Kawhi Leonard, he plays like no games the entire season. He's like, oh, playoff time, I'm healthy, okay, great, let's go, and he's one of the best players in the entire league at that point. They're looking like they could be pretty good.
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
to say that. Oh, that feels
I know
dirty.
that feels weird for Laker fans to say
Dirty.
that about the Clippers, but it is actually true that this team could be good. I will say this as somebody who is sort of indifferent to the Clippers. I need them to do actually something before I can totally get on board, right? Like we've seen this sort of thing before. And then eventually there's some clippering that goes on, and then we're off to the next season. So anyway, we are not here to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers. We're here to instead to talk about the Los Angeles Dodgers today. No game last night. Instead, they were on a travel day as they went from Texas to Chicago. They'll take on the Cubs for 2 more games. And is this it? This is it for the Cubs this season, correct?
Yeah, this is it for the Cubs. It's going to be their 7th meeting. They went 2-3-2, and that's it. And we've talked about it a bunch, but like I don't understand how you finish with an entire team 7 times and not face anybody in your division at all, and especially not the top 2 ones in the Giants and the Padres for another 2 months. The scheduling is just so odd.
So
odd.
weird. So we're just chalk it up to another one of the things Rob Manfred has done to make fans frustrated and upset. The list is ever growing. We will get it. We will get into the Cubs series in just a little bit. I wanted to kind of start with a thing, and I texted it to you guys just before we started. I was just scrolling and saw this thing. It was an article on the dishwasher blog, which I had honestly never heard of until
about the dishwasher.
Until about 15 minutes ago. It was a thing I did not know existed, but they ranked all of the patches, the arm patches on Major League uniforms, going from what they considered the best to what they considered to be the worst. And Dodger fans, you might want earmuffs for this. The Dodgers were considered the 9th worst arm patch in Major League Baseball. The Padres were considered number 1.
The worst. Best. They were the best or the worst?
The Padres. So it's weird. If you read the blog, it's weird because the Padres are ranked number 24, but they're also going from. They started with what they considered the best, going to what they considered the worst. The numbering is weird. Maybe because things in the dishwasher get turned upside down. I have no idea. But yeah, the Padres were considered number 1 just because. They have the Motorola patch. It's in brown. It doesn't really stand out so much. It's not like a big offensive logo with a ton of wording on it or anything like that. So they were considered the best. The Dodgers, because it was large, and the Dodgers lost points for one being a historic brand that's been around forever since the 1800s. And also they lose points, Greg, because basically they sort of said it feels like a little bit like a pyramid, like a Ponzi scheme, because it's just the Guggenheim Group, which is, it's the ownership group funneling, just moving money around, basically is what it is.
Yeah, they're paying themselves to put the patch on, which I mean, I get it. Like they want to get there because the Guggenheim Group actually does something. I forget. I think it's like consulting or something along those lines, but they do something. So, but they own the team too. It's very strange. Like I guess do you actually pay yourself to put it on there, or you just say, no, it's a wash. I'm just going to do it. It's a very strange, like, do you play Major League Baseball for that? Or how does that work?
I don't know. I would assume, for people who are smarter than I am when it comes to finances and accounting and that sort of thing, I would assume there's probably some line item. Like, I'm sure, Greg, there's got to be some sort of financial benefit to this, right? Besides just advertising yourself.
Yeah, the financial. Well, yeah, you get your name all over the place, and because people know of the Dodgers.
Yeah,
people like us know it's owned by the Guggenheim Group,
right.
But maybe just your average fan may not know, and like, what's Guggenheim, and then go search as Guggenheim, and they find out A, that they own the team, and B, they do something that maybe could help them in their business. So, either way, like the Motorola one is pretty big. They're the same size, so yeah. I don't really get these rankings. It's the dishwasher, so I'm not going to get like overly upset about the dishwasher blog. I just don't understand what they're meaning. Like this one below it, the Braves quick ret. That's just an ugly patch. If you go to number 8, that's a ugly. What is number 1? What's the worst patch?
You know what? I didn't scroll. I just honestly I scrolled down to see where the Dodgers were, and then once I saw that, I was like, okay, well that's whatever. The worst one, it looks like the Blue Jays with the TD Canada logo.
I mean,
on their sleeve.
Okay. I guess it's kind of ugly, but again, it's the same thing as the Padres with the Motorola, which the Cubs have the same thing too.
Yeah,
but it's just letters. It's white and green. That doesn't seem weird to me. I don't know. Did you notice though that number 3 is for the Seattle Mariners? It's Nintendo.
Yeah.
How could that be the third worst? Nintendo should be the best.
I mean, you would think. I look. It makes sense, right? They're based in Washington. They have a huge, obviously, they have a national or international, user base, if you will. It is a little bit like there's one that has like big. the Switch 2 logo on it. It's really big, so I could see how that would be a little bit of a distraction. Parker, you may want to know the Angels. I think they're ranked above the Dodgers, but they got hammered in the write-up. The Angels did not fare well in the analysis of their
what is their logo?
I know now. I'm trying to scroll and find it again.
Furiously scroll to find
right as I look for the Angels or whatever. But they did not necessarily come off very clean in this whole thing. So
it's the Reds. Oh, here it is. Got it. It's a FBM. What is an FBM?
Isn't it a bank or something?
Sure.
Parker says it's a random Anaheim construction company. So there it is.
There you go.
At least they stayed homegrown with it, I guess, if you will. So,
yes.
If you are so inclined, you can go search the Dishwasher blog and look for their rankings of patch logos. I believe there are 6 or 7 teams that do not have a logo. Probably just because they couldn't find somebody to pony up for it more than anything else. I don't think it's a stand of principle or anything.
Is it a poverty franchise like the Rockies?
You know what? I think the Rockies are one of them. I know the A's are one.
Okay, poverty.
Let's see. We got the Twins, the Rays, the White Sox, the A's, the Nationals, and the Rockies.
I mean, all of those teams make sense to me to not have a jersey patch. Did you see that a guy wanted like $1,000 for a home run ball, and they're like, no, you can't for the Rockies. It's like, no, you can't have that ball for $1,000. We can't give away $1,000 for a ball.
I mean, look, it sort of makes sense, like because the Rockies. I don't know if you looked, at least as of a couple nights ago, they were on the exact same pace as the White Sox last year, who set a major league record for losses. So, you might need that $1,000 to, I don't know, sign a utility infielder or something.
Or something.
I have no idea.
4-17. Good for you. Look at that.
They were 3-17, so they've won a game. They're on a hot streak right now. So you gotta watch out for those Colorado Rockies. Yeah. All right, let's actually talk some Dodger baseball for real now. Now that we're 10 minutes into the show. Couple days off. We talked yesterday with Clint Pasillas about some of the things that we are concerned about. One of the things we did talk about was the bullpen, and just the fact that they are using so many innings, getting so many innings out of these guys. I guess, Greg, the silver lining to this though is you do have arms coming back. Evan Phillips is back. They're going to start getting guys back soon. Ideally, whatever's going on with Blake Trinan is not a long-term issue. Is this a thing that we should really be worried about, or should we, sort of take a deep breath and think things are going to work themselves out?
So I do think we should just take a deep breath and things are going to work everything out. But I mean, you don't want to overwork the guys that you're looking at in the bullpen could very well be there at the end of the year. Like the Trinan's obviously on the IL, but Trinan and Yates and Dreyer, who looks fantastic. Ben Kasperius had big innings in the postseason last year. Now, not Dustin May. Evan Phillips is back. Michael Kopech's going to make his way back. Anthony Bonda was a big part of that. Just the guys like Luis Garcia that are not going to get there. There's only few guys in this bullpen that you think there's no way. Vezia, there's no way that guy's going to be on the postseason roster. It's really Luis Garcia. So overusing them now is dangerous. To the point where, yes, they're using, I think you said it was the most any team has used their bullpen in Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, to then go into a bullpen game tomorrow against the Cubs, that's just taxing them even more. I get you. You had the day off yesterday. You have the day off on Thursday, but that doesn't mean that they're not being overused. So it's starting to get to a point of like, how much can you use these good arms, and how much do you try to hold some of them back?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be sort of the key there. I do think there's another part of this equation, and you maybe inadvertently kind of touched on it, is guys like Dustin May. There are guys that are going to be in the rotation during the year that inevitably in the postseason will end up in the bullpen, just because you're not going to have a 5-man, a 6-man rotation. So some of those guys will inevitably end up in the bullpen as well. So maybe that is something to keep in mind there. But it is a little bit disconcerting that just the starters have not given them a lot of length so far this season. And, they've had to go to those bullpen arms quite a bit on a daily basis, which does bring us to Dustin May, who is the starter for tonight. Overall, I think it's been an outstanding return for Dustin May this year. What have you seen from him, and what do you expect to see from him, or at least hope to see from him tonight?
I hope that he keeps up with the swing and miss. He's had 2 starts where he had that swing and miss, and we talked about it in the second start. He was not getting that swing and miss. He only had, I think, 1 strikeout in that game and just was not fooling anybody, but then came back against the Rockies and was fooling basically everyone. He still's only given up 7 hits on the season, I think. So that means that he's really doing a great job. If he can keep those walks down, which I don't think he's walked that many guys, but it was right in front of me, but I lost it. So
6 walks in 17 innings.
Still, for this pitching staff, super low. I mean, is it low enough? No, that number should be around 2, 3, 4, something like that. But if you can keep those walks down and get the swing and miss, I really like the stuff that Dustin May have. And you can tell that he's just not afraid of anybody. And then to go into Chicago, where, as Clint pointed out yesterday, if the wind's blowing just a little bit to the outfield, every ball flies. That he really needs that. He really needs to fool the hitters up there, because the Cubs are destroying baseballs. They are one of the hottest teams in baseball in terms of just hitting the ball in general. So if he can keep them off balance, that would be huge. I really like what Dustin May have, and he's probably going to be one of those guys in the bullpen in the postseason that you were talking about. But I really hope that he really picks it up and he shows that he can be a starter.
Yeah, I think so too. 17 innings pitched so far in his 3 starts. He's gone at least 5 in every single start so far. You mentioned that start against the Rockies. No walks in that one. Gave you 6 innings with no walks. So very much a clean start there. Looking in the chat, Craig Osterberg saying rainy weather in Chicago the next couple of days. So hopefully that helps keep the ball in the ballpark a little bit. We'll see how that works out. But Dustin May has been very good. Hopefully he keeps it going. You mentioned the swing and miss. The stuff has been filthy. So as long as he can get ahead in the count, command the strike zone, I think we get another really solid start out of Dustin May. You mentioned the bullpen game, because that is what we expect for Wednesday. Is it Robleski that they are planning to open that thing? Do they know yet?
I'm not anything that I've seen. I don't think they're actually going to bring Robleski up. I think they're going straight bullpen game. I could be very wrong on that, but I would imagine it's Kasperius for as many as he can go, and then it's just mix and match. And that's kind of the thing that worries me, is that maybe Dreyer goes 2 or 3 innings or something like that. I think that's what worries me. Your topic about the bullpen in the postseason. If a starter goes into the bullpen, and he's expected to go 3-4 innings because he's that long reliever guy, but blows up, that ruins your entire plan. So it's just a tough plan to go on. I don't really like it, but I know it's something that they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I jumped around there.
No, all good, all good. So, like as you're talking, I was pulling up the bullpen innings, and 96 and 2/3 innings for the Dodgers, four more than the Marlins, which you would expect the Marlins are going to use a lot of bullpen innings because, well, they're bad. So that's going to have a lot to do with it. I guess the upside is the bullpen has a record of 10-3. ERA of about 3.5. So they have been effective. You just sort of worry about their longevity if they continue to have to work this hard throughout the season. I mean, we're just a week past tax day, so we got a long way to go before this thing is all said and done. Let's talk about the offense, because the offense has yet to really come to life. I don't really know where to begin with this other than just to say, like, we need the bottom of the order to start hitting. I don't know if you have any more, deeper insight into it besides that.
No, I don't. It's not so much. Yes, at the bottom of the bullpen needs to start hitting. But I think the question really is, do you think it's time to move things around? I don't. I think we talked about this exact same thing last year. This is how you talk about the Dodgers year in and year out at the beginning of the year, not hitting with runners in scoring position, not getting any production from 5 through 9. That's the exact same thing that's happening now. I do think all of that will turn, and when it turns, it's going to be a destruction of a lot of different teams. Despite that offense being so poor, they're still tied for the best record in baseball because the Padres lost last night. I mean, that just shows you how silly it is, because it's coming mostly from the pitching staff. But do you think, Marcus, that moving everything around could be an issue? I know that Mason wants to put Shohei in the 2 spot and Mookie back at the 1. And he mentioned something about Tommy Edman going back to the 9 spot, or maybe that was Ireland moving him back to the 9 spot. Do you like that idea, or do you think it's nonsense?
I wouldn't mess with the top of the order. I mean, those guys are fine. Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, those guys are fine. I wouldn't mess with that too much. I have heard the idea of Edman at the bottom of the lineup, and I don't think it's a terrible idea necessarily, because it sort of works as having 2 leadoff hitters. He's hitting well enough. He gets on base enough that I think it makes it interesting. I don't know that I want wholesale lineup changes right now, right? I mean, I think little things, we've seen Max Muncy kind of be moved up and down the lineup in an effort to get him going a little bit. I think I'm fine with that until he kind of figures things out and actually gets on a legitimate hot streak. But I don't mind, say, having an Andy Pages in that 9th spot. He's starting to come alive at the plate a little bit. He does give you a little extra power too down at the bottom of the order. So it's something that you have to pay attention to if you're on the mound, because it's not like you're going to get some light hitting middle infielder there at the 9 spot that you can kind of toy around with. I mean, Pages is the kind of guy where if you leave a fastball over the middle of the plate or you hang a slider, he can hurt you with it. And so, I think having him there is not a terrible idea. I think there's just a couple of guys that need to get going, right? I think Max Muncy is starting to come around. We're seeing more patience at the plate. He's walking a little bit more. You'd like to see more out of, say, Kike Hernandez the days he's in the lineup, or Miguel Rojas when he's in the lineup. But the biggest one, I think it's your guy Michael Conforto, right? That's the big void in the lineup, especially with him hitting at the 5 spot. I think if you're making a move, I think it's maybe moving Conforto down a little bit and seeing if maybe him hitting in that 7th or 8th spot can do something to jumpstart him.
I totally agree with that. And it's something that probably should happen if it hasn't happened already. He's just not hitting. And I totally agree with the top of the order conversation. Shohei Ohtani, just so you said that you didn't want to move the top of the order 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave that. I know they move 3 and 4 to Teoscar and Freddie around sometimes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
For the most part, Shohei, this was last week, so now it's changed since then, but this was something I saw, I think it was last Wednesday or last Thursday. Shohei in 109 games since moving to the leadoff spot last season is 306, 41 home runs, and 92 RBIs.
That's good.
You want that guy? That's good. You want to get that guy as many at bats as possible. I know it's only like 20 extra at bats by being in the 1 versus the 2, but that's where you want him. I don't want Tommy Edman at that 9 spot. He's for me myself because he's got he's hitting with a lot of power right now, and he's not getting on base as much as he would probably need to. He has a below 300 on base percentage. So if you put that guy there and he's striking out or not walking or just grounding out, you're not actually helping the cause. I like where he is in the lineup to help drive in runs, which I think is important for him and for this team, especially when you got guys like Conforto who are not driving in runs. Right. So if you put Edman at your 5 or 6 and Conforto goes down to 7 or 8, I feel like you have a better chance to drive in a run from your 1, 2, 3, 4 that gets on base.
Yeah, I seen Craig Osterberg suggest he put Will Smith in the 9 spot. I mean, he's hitting. He's going to get on base. I don't know. I think I want his bat up higher. I want his bat coming to the plate sooner than he would in the 9 spot. That's my only pushback on that.
He's something like 9 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Keep him up high so he can keep
Yeah, I just, it is. It's basically just trying to find out that magic combination of 5 through 9, essentially, maybe 6 through 9, to kind of get some guys going. And like at some point, I think a lot of these guys are going to start to hit, right? Max Muncy's going to start hitting. I think Pages will kind of come and go. I think Conforto sort of is who he is. Like, I think he'll get a little better than what he is now, Greg, but he's not going to suddenly start hitting 275, and giving you a ton of home runs. Like Michael Conforto, he's a 240 hitter. I think that's kind of the expectation for him right now.
Right. I think that's who he is. And you're watching as his on base percentages continually drops. He gets a walk every once in a while. I think he's leading the team or tied for around the team lead for walks.
He is tied for the team. He and Shohei both have 13. So.
Right. So that's great. And I love that. But if you're going to be in that 5-6 hole, I need you driving in runs. I need you actually doing things, getting hits that keep the line moving. I get it that the walk helps, but if he's going to be just a walk guy, put him in that 7, 8, 9 spot, and maybe he can be. If he's going to walk this much, why don't we try him at the 9 spot? Let him walk to put someone on base for Shohei, because we're not getting a lot of production down there. Maybe when he has a little less pressure of being somebody that's in that 5-6 spot that's supposed to, maybe that'll help him get over. The whole point of the villain, Marcus, as you know, is to get them better, to push them along. This is not helping so far.
No, you're right. And maybe, look, here's the thing. The other part of him being in that 9 spot is the threat of Shohei, right? Just having Shohei standing on deck. Trust me, pitchers, catchers, opposing managers, they are aware when number 17 is standing in that on deck circle. And so hopefully that means Conforto gets more pitches to hit and can do more things with it. So, we'll see. I do think that some of these guys probably need something to kind of get them going a little bit. We are, a full month into the season now, and there's some guys that still need to kind of get a kickstart. So maybe that's what it is, but I don't know that I'm just going to go wholesale lineup changes at this point with this team, because there are enough parts that are working that I don't want to disrupt those for the things that aren't working. Only a couple minutes left before we get out of here and get you over to Travis and DeMarco. One thing we have not done on the show this week, Greg, is congratulate Shohei on becoming a father.
Hey, Shohei. Baby
Shohei
girl.
Ohtani is a dad. Congratulations to he and his wife. They had a baby girl over the weekend. We had Tommy Edman in the leadoff spot for a couple of days while Shohei was on paternity leave. So enjoy your sleepless nights for the next little bit, Mr. and Mrs. Ohtani. The other part of it, though, Greg, if I'm an opposing pitcher, like Shohei was already enough of a menace. Now he has dad strength. That seems like a bad deal for a lot of people.
That's a really bad deal for a lot of people. But do you think we should get like some diapers together as a station, as a local brand, that we put it all? The Blue Review just gives Shohei a bunch of onesies and some diapers and stuff, sends it to Dodger Stadium. Think he would take them?
I think he would, right? I mean, onesies, diapers, and like double and triple A batteries for all the little toys that you're going to have to replace them for. Just a giant case of double A and triple A batteries, just to kind of, tide you over.
Were you a Huggies or a Loves guy?
Oh, we were a Huggies household. Yeah, we were definitely a Huggies household for sure.
So. As were we. All the other ones kind of like leaked through. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the worst, man. Like you're washing sheets all the time. It's just a problem. So
it's a massive problem.
A massive problem. So there he goes. Anyway, the Dodgers play tonight, 4:10 start time here in Los Angeles as they take on the Cubs. A pair of games in Chicago at Wrigley Field, which, by the way, have you ever been to Wrigley?
Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful ballpark, and especially during a day game, it's fantastic. I loved it so much.
Glorious. Definitely one of those places that's cool because it's old. There's not a lot of great amenities to it, but the atmosphere is wonderful. Wrigleyville is fantastic. I would certainly suggest to Dodger fans, not this year, obviously, but in the future, if you have a chance, make the trip to Wrigley. It's a whole lot of fun. Hopefully, it'll be a fun time for the Dodgers over the next couple of days as well.
Absolutely, and I'll let you go in just a second. But when I went to Wrigleyville, it was amazing. And then I bought a Kosuke Fukudome shirt. Do you remember Kosuke Fukudome?
I do. The first time I went to Wrigley,
Fukudome on the back. Yeah.
He was playing for the Cubs the first time I went to Wrigley Field. The Dodgers
same here.
The Dodgers were still owned by the McCourts, and they had just brought up a guy by the name of Jerry Sands.
So God, Jerry Sands did nothing but he had like a home run. Yeah.
But weirdly, the Dodgers, it was freezing. It was like 40 degrees in April. The Dodgers won 12-5 or something like that. It was a huge thing.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Anyway, off to Travis and DeMarco. Thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out with us and participating. Thank you to LAX for helping us get this going. And thanks to Parker Bell, who has been lurking in the shadows. He had capital R responsibilities today. That's what happens when you go off to Vegas and do wrestling with your friends. In the meantime, stick with us here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel all day long. And be back with us again tomorrow, 8:30 to 8:55 for another edition of The Blue Review. Think Blue. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yep. Bop, bop.